Now on CBC Vancouver News. Big boom, bright light. More in the celestial light show that streaked across the sky in parts of BC. Plus,
I was very surprised to see that was the choice, because given that most of the people are on the western side, you'd want to do the opposite in terms of health.
scientists warn BC's plan for permanent daylight time could come at a cost to our health. And
it's very frustrating and it's hard to hear.
A criminal case against 2 BC men accused of smuggling illegal car parts into the U.S. has vanished.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, I'm Dan Burritt. Thanks for joining us. A criminal case against 2 British Columbia men accused of smuggling tens of millions of dollars in illegal pollution-spewing car parts into the U.S. has gone up in smoke. As Liam Britton tells us, the charges seem to have gone away because of a legal U-turn by the Trump administration.
Attempting to profit from evading pollution control systems puts the health and safety of everyone in our community at risk.
That's former U.S. Attorney Vanessa Waldriff 18 months ago, announcing charges against 4 people: American father and son John and Joshua Owens, and BC auto shop owners Philip Sweeney and Kevin Dodd. Now, prosecutors alleged Sweeney and Dodd sold $33 million U.S. worth of illegal defeat devices to the Owens, enough to illegally tamper with up to hundreds of thousands of diesel cars and trucks. Now, these defeat devices include a range of hardware and software gadgets used to bypass or disable legally required emission control systems on diesel cars and trucks. Diesel exhaust pollutes more than gasoline exhaust, and the World Health Organization has declared it cancer-causing. That's why diesel vehicles in Canada, the U.S., and beyond are required by law to have emission controls. But tampering with these systems can release more engine power and save on fuel. The Owens allegedly sold these devices online, making $74 million U.S. dollars. But accusations against them, Sweeney, and Dodd were never tested in court.
It's very frustrating and it's hard to hear.
Waldriff is now a lawyer in Spokane, Washington.
This was a case that we believed was very significant in protecting public health.
So what happened? Donald Trump's Justice Department tweeted in January it will, quote, no longer pursue criminal charges under the Clean Air Act based on allegations of tampering with onboard diagnostic devices in motor vehicles. In mid-February, the department had the charges dismissed. Under former President Joe Biden and during Trump's own first term, enforcing rules against engine tampering was declared an EPA enforcement priority. Critics say reversing this is unprecedented.
But we say that a lot about this administration. This is just part of that, saying we're not only going to try to pull back on all the rules that apply, but we're going to direct the Justice Department really not to enforce a lot of these rules.
The Justice Department said it had no comment when CBC reached out. We tried to reach the accused men, but never heard back. We never found any up-to-date info for Dodd, who the U.S. Marshals Service says was, until this week, a fugitive because of his charges. One lawyer for the men said on background they are seeking to have the charges dismissed with prejudice so they can never be filed again. Liam Britton, CBC News, Vancouver.
Darius Madava here with a first look at the weather and a rather familiar avalanche map.
That's right. Although some improvements compared to the last couple of days when we've been looking at this. No more red on the map, so no more high avalanche danger, but still elevated throughout much of the province, although we have reached low danger on Vancouver Island. That said, we have a bit of a dry day tomorrow, but as we head into the rest of the week and the weekend, we're going to see more rains and snow in the mountains start to come down. That addition to the snowpack may cause avalanche danger to increase once again, so something to be on the lookout for over the next few days. But again, bit of a dry spell tomorrow before that next wave, the next frontal system passes over us on Friday. We'll likely see that precipitation taper to showers on Saturday as we continue to see that system roll through. Then on Sunday, another wave of precipitation rolls through, bit of a cold front. Temperatures will come down a little bit as we head into the weekend. Until then, staying relatively close to where they have been lately. And if you're looking out your window tonight, no meteor perhaps, but you might see a full moon because we have some breaks in the clouds on the way.
Okay, that'll be something to look forward to. Now, you may have heard it or in fact seen it on Tuesday night around 9 p.m. A big boom and bright light flashed across our sky in parts of BC. Social media alight with people hearing and seeing this event. Scientists say it was likely a meteor. And Darius, you're going to run us through what happened. First of all, did you hear it at all?
I did. I wasn't sure exactly what it was when I first heard the noise, but I heard a big sound. I am embarrassed to say that it did take me until I came in. I heard the news earlier today that to put two and two together and realize what that sound was.
And so we're seeing video here. What we see, the flash of light. And
that's right.
And not every video has sound, but some of them, they do have a couple of booms at least. What was this exactly? Do we know?
So we've been talking about this on a lot of the radio shows, and some people said they thought it was the beginnings of an earthquake. Somebody even said they thought it might be the beginning of the big one. Some people said it seemed like a lightning storm, and that is probably pretty familiar to people who have been through lightning, because we heard those, we saw those flashes, and then it wasn't until a couple minutes later when we heard those booms associated with it. And that's because the light travels much, much, much faster than sound, and because the object is so far away, it takes that long. So you know, the people who've been through thunderstorms probably know the rule where if you see a flash of light and then you count how long until you hear the clap of thunder, same thing applies here, except the object much further away, much higher up in the sky, and so that boom takes longer to reach the surface. And I know our good friend, Johanna Wagstaff, was talking about this earlier today. Take a listen.
This thing was coming so fast, though, and that's the reason why we heard this boom. It's traveling through the upper levels of our atmosphere at, anywhere from 20 to 70 kilometers per second. So it's traveling so fast that it's actually compressing the air ahead of it, compressing it and heating it up. And that's what's creating that sonic boom.
Well, it certainly blew up online. How common is this?
So this meteor was a pretty typical size. It was about 10 centimeters around was the initial estimate. Since then, I've heard soccer ball size as another potential estimate. Those estimates will continue to be refined as researchers are able to pour through more and more data, because there's all kinds of ways to analyze this kind of thing. You can use visual approximations, although that hasn't really, as far as I can tell, that hasn't really been used here. You can use radar observations if it happens to pass over a radar site. But one of the great ones that people at home can do for themselves would be to use seismometers. So these are the things that we use to measure earthquakes. And you might think, how can something on the ground measure something so high in the air? Well, just like you heard those sonic booms, a sonic boom can rattle the ground, and as it shakes the earth, you can actually see that spike on the seismograms that these machines produce. And there's a very clear spike on the Maple Ridge seismogram when this meteor passed overhead, produced that giant sonic boom, and it's really cool to be able to track that, track it using the same equipment we already have on Earth for earthquakes.
No kidding. Should people be worried at all about this?
No, I don't think meteors are very common for them to see them hit the atmosphere. This is what a shooting star is. Normally, they aren't quite this bright, quite this dramatic, but pretty typical. I think a bigger concern is going to be space junk. We're sending more and more objects into space. The next time you see a burning fireball like that, it might not be a meteor. It might be a piece of a satellite coming back down. And that's something that I've been looking into for a while. And maybe people get to see a story about it soon.
Very good. Darius, thanks very much.
Thank you.
People across BC's south coast buzzing after what we said believed to be a meteor lit up that night sky. Again, those reports came in around 9 o'clock Tuesday, those bangs. And we should clarify, this came in from as far as east as Comox and far west as Comox and as far east to Merritt. 2 people have died after a crash on the Alaska Highway west of Fort Nelson. The RCMP says it received an automated report of a crash near Summit Lake on Tuesday morning. Rescuers responded and found a semi-truck and trailer had crashed through a barrier, coming to rest on a steep embankment. 2 people were found dead inside. Mounties say road conditions were likely a factor. The partner of a 43-year-old woman whose remains were found at her Maple Ridge home has now been charged with second-degree murder in her death. Jessica Cunningham was last seen in June of 2025. Police began a search a month later when she was reported missing. Her partner, Miley Barron, was arrested and later pleaded guilty to 1 count of indignity to human remains. He's set to be sentenced for that crime on Thursday. In the Fraser Valley, more than 24 libraries could be closed this week because of a labor dispute. The CBC's Benit Braich has more on the impact and what's behind a possible lockout.
An escalating labor dispute could mean the closure of 25 Fraser Valley regional libraries. At least 300 library workers locked out and hundreds of thousands of patrons caught in the middle starting this Friday.
I personally think it'll be very sad if the library locks down, just because, yeah, I mean, reading is important. It's important for the community to have a safe place to come to.
They have an excellent book club here, so I'll miss that once a month.
We meet once a week to do reading and discuss what's going on in the world. It's a literacy thing. So if they go off, it's going to affect us. Right, ladies?
Both the employer and the union, QP 1698, they've failed to reach an agreement since last June, even with an appointed mediator. On Tuesday afternoon, FERL issued a lockout notice saying, "We cannot reasonably see other available options for us to conclude an agreement at this stage."
We're pretty dismayed by it. Our workers obviously want to be at work. We want to stay at work. And we don't want to see our library services removed from the public.
Fouquet says a lockout could mean patrons can no longer check out books, use computers, or access programs or events that staff provide. The union says key sticking points come down to wage increases and the length of the agreement. The employer says it has proposed numerous improvements for staff and general wage increases totaling up to 9.25% between 2025 and 2027. But after much back and forth, still no consensus.
The union is looking for wage increases that are consistent with increases that other libraries and workers have seen across the region. We did propose a reasonable solution that shortened the term in order to meet management where they were at.
FERL CEO declined a video interview, but says the employer is committed to finding an agreement. And if libraries do close, customers are being asked to keep their borrowed books and items until they do reopen. Existing audiobooks, ebooks, streaming resources will still be available online for library goers who could soon be in limbo. Benit Brach, CBC News, Abbotsford.
BC's Premier wants his Cascadia colleagues to end annual time changes and join the province's new Pacific time zone.
Our priority is to make sure that the public and the companies, federal counterparts and international partners have enough lead time. And so 8 months, I think, is a good enough lead time.
In a letter to the governors of Washington State, Oregon and California, EB notes BC's change could cause challenges in cross-border travel and trade. He's asking the governors to call on the U.S. Congress to authorize year-round daylight time for them as well. Now, BC's decision to adopt permanent daylight saving time is getting mixed reviews. Some scientists who study sleep are warning it will have a negative effect on overall health, especially for children. The CBC's Tara Carman joins us with more. Tara, why are these scientists so concerned about this change?
Well, Dan, mainly because they're concerned about sleep deprivation, and they want anyone who enjoys their sleep, as I do, they should be worried. This change is really going to hit us here in Metro Vancouver in the depths of winter when the sun won't come up until after 9. One researcher says it's really bad for our bodies to be going to work or school in the dark.
The circadian clock synchronizes to the light-dark cycle of the sun through specialized photoreceptors in the eye. And morning light exposure is really important here.
That's because morning sun tells our bodies to be alert during the day and release melatonin at night to help us sleep. Without that morning light, we become more night owls than we're supposed to be and more tired during the day. Judah estimates that the average British Columbian can expect to lose about half an hour of sleep each night because of the transition. And over time, that cumulative lack of sleep can have some really negative health effects.
Tara, who is most likely to be affected by daylight saving time?
Well, a few different groups, Dan. Kids are one. Sleep is important for everyone, but it's especially important for children's brain development. Teens are another. They're already oriented later in the day, and this is going to make it that much harder for them to get up in the morning. And thirdly, people on the western side of their time zone, hello Vancouver, who are the ones who really get hammered by those dark winter mornings. Jamie Zeitzer is a professor at Stanford University, and the BC government actually cited his research when they announced this change, which was a surprise to him. He tells me getting rid of clock changes will likely have health benefits, but he doesn't support a switch to permanent daylight time.
I was very surprised to see that that was the choice because, again, given that most of the people are on the western side of that, you'd want to do the opposite in terms of health.
Like the other scientists I spoke with, says a move to permanent standard time would have been better for overall health because you get more morning light, which is what our bodies naturally expect.
Tara Carman, thanks very much. We're 100 days away from the start of the FIFA Men's World Cup. Up next, the challenges of finding a place to stay. Stay with us. Canada, as you know, is preparing to co-host FIFA Men's World Cup matches this summer here in Vancouver and Toronto. But as Yasmin Ghanea explains, finding a place to stay in one of those two cities is turning into a bit of a nightmare.
1052, 996.
100 days away from the start of the World Cup, and Shuterto Saha still can't find a place to stay in Vancouver.
It's sad to see the fact that you have tickets to see the games, but finding accommodation is going to be one of the hardest things to do.
Tens of thousands of visitors are expected to descend on the city as it hosts 7 games, and hotels are booking up quickly.
We know that we're going to be in popular demand. June and July is our high season.
The tourism board says the city has a hotel shortage and may not be able to fulfill demand. Vancouver has about 13,000 hotel rooms, roughly 10,000 fewer than Toronto. Vancouver has lost about 550 hotel rooms since 2020, partly because some older hotels like this one were turned into supportive housing units. The province says hundreds of hotel rooms are in the development pipeline, but they're not expected to open between now and the World Cup.
The number of hotels clearly represented in the price, right?
Australian Yordan Kostedanov is coming to Vancouver for his second World Cup and is shocked at the prices, upwards of $1,000 a night.
My honeymoon was in Hawaii and I'm pretty sure we paid less per night there.
There are also fewer places for World Cup fans to stay because of short-term rental restrictions, which only allow people to rent out their primary residence. And while there are many advertisements online, it likely won't be enough to fill the gap, says this urban planner.
Some folks may not want the inconvenience of leaving their units unless of course they're traveling for a prolonged period of time.
On Airbnbs,
Saha hopes to find a place soon.
I've been looking at Surrey, Westminster, down the Fraser Valley, and I have found places in Vancouver Island.
Which means he could be looking at a ferry ride or an hour drive to get to the stadium. Yasmin Raneya, CBC News, Vancouver.
Mayor Ken Sim is promising that the 7 World Cup matches and festivities in town will change the future of the Granville Entertainment District.
This summer will be just a taste of what's to come in years ahead. The pedestrian zone will showcase the future of the Granville Entertainment District as a lively pedestrianized street, bustling with activity from day to night.
Sim says Granville, but from Davie to West Georgia, will be car-free for the length of the World Cup. All cross streets will remain open to car traffic, though, and buses will be rerouted to Seymour and Howe streets with new 24/7 bus lanes. Well, still with the roads, attention Vancouver Island drivers. Paid street parking is coming back to downtown Nanaimo. The fees were scrapped while the area was under heavy construction. But as Claire Palmer reports, that hiatus is now over.
It's a busy afternoon in Nanaimo's downtown. Residents enjoying a meal or a coffee. But now their stop might run them a couple bucks in parking, with the city reinstating paid parking along downtown streets.
Parking should be free, but the city has to make money somehow, I guess.
It makes sense that it is coming back. It was a temporary measure.
I am in support of the paid parking, just to help the parkades not be so full.
None of the fees have changed. 12 minutes of parking costs 25 cents or a full $1.25 for an hour. Parking will be free after 5 p.m. and on Sundays.
Is there still the same fairly modest charges that were in place before?
Paid parking was suspended in the fall of 2024 to encourage more downtown traffic. The city says they're bringing back the meters which were removed in 2019 due to vandalism.
We need to find a way to create more turnover to allow others to come down and make use of the same space.
Rose says overall, they're looking at improving the downtown as a transportation hub and want to encourage residents to take alternative forms of transportation like transit or riding a bike, adding that the city is hoping to add more secure bike parking in the near future.
These are a bunch of indicators of a growing and evolving city. And jumping back to the parking conversation, curb space is a very finite resource.
Rose says one of the major changes is that payment is now digital and can be done online. Claire Palmer, CBC News, Nanaimo.
A rainy day in Osoyoos with spring-like temperatures on the way. Darius will be on the way with a BC-wide weather forecast coming up. Day 5 of Israel and America's war in Iran saw new reasons for concern about a widening conflict. It has now expanded beyond the Middle East. The CBC's Briar Stewart has more.
Far from the coast of Iran, Iranian sailors were rushed to the hospital in Sri Lanka, while the bodies of others were transferred to the morgue. More than 80 were killed in a U.S. strike on an Iranian frigate.
Yesterday, in the Indian Ocean, an American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death.
U.S. officials claim they're hitting thousands of targets in Iran itself, but the country is still able to fire off missiles and drones, including into NATO territory. This is the remnants of a missile interception that came down in southern Turkey, although there's no suggestions that it will trigger Turkey to demand NATO intervention. We are giving warnings in the clearest way possible for similar incidents not to occur again, said Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. In Iran, clerics are said to be close to picking the next supreme leader after Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in an airstrike on Saturday. There are still widespread internet outages and, in some areas, electrical blackouts. Cheyenne Moody said the drive from the capital to the border crossing was 28 hours. What was the city of Tehran like as you left?
It's calm. People don't tend to go out on the streets too much. We do go out our normal business, shopping-wise, go see our friends and family. But then the bombing starts and you got no place to go.
A small team from Global Affairs Canada arrived at the border earlier in case the thousands of Canadians registered as being in Iran need consular help.
Only a handful of Canadians crossed through that border crossing in the last few days. That could change very well, and that could change quite quickly. And we stand ready to change our posture if that's the case.
The federal government has also secured some seats on a commercial aircraft for Canadians who are trying to get out of Beirut, as Israel has stepped up its strikes on Hezbollah there and also in southern Lebanon. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Van, Turkey.
U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, meanwhile, says his country will not let up on its attacks on Iran. He says the war could extend for 8 weeks. This happening amid preparations to repatriate the first fallen soldiers in that conflict. Chris Reyes has more.
4 days into the U.S.-Israel war with Iran, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth led with this assessment.
America is winning, decisively, devastatingly, and without mercy.
In the briefing, Hegseth said the U.S. and Israeli military will have complete control of the Iranian skies in the days ahead.
It means we will fly all day, all night, day and night, finding, fixing, and finishing the missiles and defense industrial base of the Iranian military. We will be using 500-pound, 1,000-pound, and 2,000-pound GPS and laser-guided precision gravity bombs, of which we have a nearly unlimited stockpile.
That ramp up comes as the remains of American soldiers killed in an Iranian airstrike on Sunday prepare for repatriation. 4 of them have been identified.
To the families of our fallen, we grieve with you today, and we look forward to welcoming your family members home at Dover in the coming days.
From Democrats, more pushback on President Trump's decision to strike Iran now.
The president has a responsibility to make the case to the American people as to the justification for this war, but has provided no evidence that there was an imminent threat to the American people here or abroad.
From the White House, more defensive posturing on the objectives of Saturday's strikes.
Number 1, destroy the regime's deadly ballistic missiles and completely raze their missile industry to the ground. Number 2, annihilate the Iranian regime's navy. Number 3, Operation Epic Fury will ensure the regime's terrorist proxies in the region can no longer destabilize the region or the free world and attack our armed forces.
The Trump administration was also repeatedly asked about reports of more than 100 children killed in a strike on a school in Iran. Secretary Hegseth would only say that the U.S. is investigating the incident. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
And late this afternoon, the U.S. Senate voted to block a bipartisan resolution to stop the airstrikes against Iran without congressional approval. Video obtained exclusively by CBC News show an Iranian missile breaking through Israel's Iron Dome defense system. The IDF says it struck a Tel Aviv neighborhood on Saturday, killing one person. Chief correspondent Adrian Arsenault explains how it underscores the system's limitations.
Have a look and a listen to some footage obtained exclusively by CBC of a missile strike in central Tel Aviv the other night. Let's have another look at this. What you see is an attempt of the anti-missile defense system to reach that missile, but it breaks through those defenses, then smashed into a neighborhood here in central Tel Aviv. It's been cleaned up. There was a hole right here on the street. There was a building right there that's already been brought down. They can clean up. What is a little harder to deal with is the knock to the confidence of seeing a missile break through the defense system. You sometimes hear about the Iron Dome. Well, the Iron Dome is just sort of one layer of the onion, if you will, to the defense system here. There's something called the David Sling, the Arrow 1, Arrow 2. As you go deeper into that layer, they can hit more complicated and bigger missiles coming through. But if they are overwhelmed, it's inevitable that a few break through. The Israelis have seen that happen before. This is a brand new feeling for the Gulf states, though, who are encountering the drones and the missile strikes for Iran.
The CBC's Adrian Arsenault in Tel Aviv. Prime Minister Mark Carney is reaffirming his support for the attacks on Iran. He's in Australia, where he spoke at an international policy institute, a day after saying he regrets the changing international norms and Washington's decision to launch this war without consulting allies. Catherine Cullen is traveling with the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister says it is about being realistic, that the initial U.S. and Israeli strikes were likely a violation of international law. He notes the United Nations and allies weren't notified, but Mark Carney says the Iranian regime is far worse, noting their long history of repression, the recent killing of thousands of Iranians, calling them the biggest threat to global peace. And so the Prime Minister says it's with regret that the Canadian government has decided to back those initial U.S. and Israeli strikes.
That is not a blank check. That is not us participating. That is not us asking for something in exchange for that.
Carney says Canada is now calling for a negotiated solution. At a think tank event later that day, the Prime Minister called the expansion of the conflict to other countries predictable. He said he welcomes regime change in Iran, but it brings with it a question about the durability of what comes next, adding, you can't just order up regime change, and we're seeing that play out. Carney was also asked to weigh in on his game plan for dealing broadly with Donald Trump. He says in private, Trump appreciates people being direct.
He is more interested in your viewpoint on various things in private, and that creates an ability to work through things. But, you know, it's not easy, to be clear. It's not easy.
Some critics, including within the Liberal Party, have criticized Carney for supporting Trump's initial attacks in Iran, saying the Prime Minister should have called him out for violating international law. Carney says his response is a case of dealing with the world as it is, rather than how we wish it would be. Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Sydney.
Now, while in Australia, the Prime Minister joined an armchair discussion at a Sydney think tank. He spoke candidly about a range of topics, including his dealings with Donald Trump, as we heard, and why he says central bankers have more fun than PMs.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Prime Minister of Canada. Welcome.
A warm welcome for Mark Carney after taking heat for his comments on Iran.
Canada has long supported the imperative of neutralizing this grave global threat.
Carney said Canada supported the U.S. and Israel's strikes on Iran. Then the backlash came.
Canada cannot endorse the unilateral and illegal use of military force, the killing of civilians.
During remarks in a fireside chat, Carney backtracked.
It seems to me you've recalibrated slightly today.
Carney said Canada was not consulted on the U.S. and Israel's plans to attack Iran. But since It's already happened. Canada backs it to prevent Iran's nuclear ambitions, while now calling on them to follow international law.
We take the situation as it is, including when we made that statement. We take the situation as is with the U.S. aims.
Canada, therefore, as Prime Minister Carney said yesterday, regretfully supports efforts to prevent Iran from developing and acquiring a nuclear weapon.
The Foreign Affairs Minister also walking a fine line while offering consular help to those trying to leave the region.
Global Affairs Canada is not currently offering assisted departures, but we are in touch with our partners to identify potential options. The Government of Canada has secured a limited number of seats on commercial flights from Beirut.
The Carney government is calling for a rapid de-escalation of hostilities, with more than 100,000 Canadians registered in the Middle East and Gulf states, and a conflict that's expanding. David Thurton, CBC News, Ottawa.
The man responsible for the Humboldt Broncos bus crash could be leaving Canada within weeks. In 2018, Jaskirat Singh Sidhu was behind the wheel of a transport truck that crashed into a bus in Saskatchewan carrying a junior hockey team. 16 team members were killed, another 13 injured. Now, with his removal looming, Karen Pauls has an exclusive interview with Sidhu, as well as responses from the families of crash victims.
As he faces deportation, Jaskirat Sidhu and his wife Tanvir Mann treasure their family time.
It just haunts me, kind of. Nobody wants to be separated from their family, you know.
It's a nightmare, and we can't even imagine like the life without him.
Sidhu was responsible for the 2018 Humboldt Broncos bus crash, behind the wheel of the semi-truck that blew through a stop sign right into the path of the Saskatchewan junior hockey team's bus, killing 16, injuring 13 others.
I wish I can do something that can take their pain away. I wish that day was never happened.
Sidhu pleaded guilty and in 2019 was sentenced to 8 years in prison. I interviewed him before he was granted parole in 2023. 1 year later, the Immigration and Refugee Board ordered his deportation. Now, one of his last avenues of appeal has been rejected.
He has a pending application for permanent residence on humanitarian and compassionate grounds. They can try to remove him in the meantime. We are seeing the wheels in motion to make that happen.
We think he should be deported.
Russ Harold's son Adam was the youngest player killed in the bus crash. He died just 6 days before his 17th birthday.
We've lost our child forever. It's not like he stole our car and we can go buy another one. We can never replace our children.
Harold says every anniversary, every mention of Sidhu is a trigger.
I'm not giving him a second chance. He's been here 8 years too long already. He's taxing our health care, taxing our legal system. I think it's time to move on.
But not everyone feels that way.
I think I just tell him I forgive him.
Christina Hogan was married to head coach Darcy Hogan, who was killed in that crash.
I just would hope that there's some way that he can forgive himself and know that he's allowed to be happy too.
Sidhu emotional when he hears that.
I have shame, I have guilt, I have sadness, and all of those things I deal with every day.
The Canada Border Services Agency says its job is to remove inadmissible people as quickly as possible, dealing first with the most serious cases, including threats to national security and organized crime. Sidhu is running out of legal options, so the agency has started making plans for deportation. But Sidhu may go alone. His son suffers from a rare lung disorder. Doctors say living in India would put him at risk.
So I'm in a limbo thinking like, what should we do? Shall I accompany Jaskirat or stay back here for my son?
This family, like many of those involved in the Humboldt Broncos tragedy, still deeply impacted by that fateful day. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Calgary.
There's a live look at the White Rock Pier. After the break, we're going to hear from a man who tried to resell tickets on StubHub, but ended up with no tickets and no money. You'll want to hear this story.
So I know when I really like a song, if within the first 3 seconds, I'm already vibing to it.
Hey, I'm Rohith Joseph. Vibin' is the new show all about discovering great new songs and fresh artists from across BC and beyond.
It's not one person dictating what good music is, it's the community sharing what good music is.
Stream Vibin' on CBC Listen.
An Ontario man trusted ticket reseller StubHub to list thousands of dollars in tickets, but he ended up empty-handed. Instead of getting paid, the tickets and his money disappeared. He took his story to Rosa Marcatelli and CBC's Go Public team, who uncovered troubling questions about ticket transfer rules and consumer protection.
Here come the lights.
Longtime Formula One fan Paul Mann bought 9 three-day passes to last year's Grand Prix in Montreal. But when his wife broke her leg skiing and his group trip fell apart, he listed 7 of them on StubHub, expecting a smooth sail.
It seemed like the best choice and honestly the safest choice.
He followed StubHub's instructions and uploaded the digital tickets. They sold, then just disappeared off the site. The company called it a glitch and promised a fix. It never came. Instead, Mann was out more than $6,000 in lost sales. And making matters worse, StubHub piled on another $3,200 in penalties. StubHub later blamed Grand Prix race organizers, saying their tickets are not transferable, and that's what caused Mann's problems.
It's really surprising to me that something that should be simple and that StubHub claims is a very simple and safe process has turned out to be unreliable.
Go Public asked an expert on digital platforms to review StubHub's user agreement.
Basically, they absolve themselves of any responsibility for anything. The text is quite amazing.
Despite all of this, StubHub continues to sell non-transferable tickets, saying the restrictions are unfair to consumers. Grand Prix de Canada organizers disagree, though. They say the reseller isn't authorized to do that and warn some tickets might be canceled. Bottom line here, buyer and sellers, beware. After Go Public contacted StubHub, it gave Paul Mann his money. Rosa Marcatelli, CBC News, Calgary.
Darius Madava here with the BC Wide Weather Forecast, and you brought a lovely sunset.
Yes, thank you to Lloyd in Peachland for sending us this beautiful image
Classic
of
Lloyd.
the sunset. Yes, much appreciated. Listener to Radio West, the afternoon radio show, heard in much of BC. Yeah, beautiful photo. Here's another view. Yeah, makes you wish you were there, right? But with that said, more nice weather is coming to many parts of the province tomorrow, but as we've seen in the last couple of days, and we will see again on the weekend, also a fair amount of snow. We got a snow basin commentary, so this is the sort of interim report update between the official reports, which we're going to get one of next week, which found that the snowpack has been holding relatively steady over the last 2 weeks province-wide, although we have seen some fluctuations. And that includes improvements for much of the south coast and worsenings for some parts of the southern interior, like the Boundary region. I wanted to highlight the fact that often when we've been talking about snowpack, I've been saying that the south coast is the worst place, doing the worst in terms of snowpack this year. That is true generally, but I also want to highlight some parts of the southern interior that also aren't doing great, including the Okanagan, which has been substantially below normal. Not quite to the extent that somewhere like Vancouver Island has, but enough to really make a difference when it comes to the spring melt, and also, I'm sure many people are familiar with the ski conditions in that region as well. So as we get more snow over as we head into the weekend, be hopeful, cautiously optimistic about the snowpack. That official report that's coming out next week will only include data up to March 1st. So there's something to be aware of. Now, another thing that all that snow is going to be changing is the avalanche danger. We have seen it improve, as we talked about earlier in the show. Low avalanche danger on Vancouver Island again. That's going to be rising as we head into the weekend, slowly, and then jumping up a little bit later on as we start to see more of that snow coming down and causing unstable avalanche conditions again. That'll be the case all along the Sunshine Coast and down along the North Shore Mountains as well. Although at this point, Whistler isn't looking like it's going to get a major dump, so probably avalanche danger staying a little bit lower there. The snowfall that we're getting, not really coming so much tomorrow. Tomorrow's a pretty dry day for most of BC with plenty of sunshine in the south. But then Friday and into the weekend, we see several waves of moisture. First, a warm front for the south coast that comes through on Thursday, and then a cold front on Friday, and then following that, a warm front on Sunday. So several waves of moisture that are going to be coming through. When I say warm front there, temperatures will be a little bit warmer at the surface. Freezing levels will jump up a little bit, but most mountains will probably still get snow. The North Shore Mountains may be getting some rain, though. Temperatures across the province tomorrow, like I said, some more warmth is going to be coming in, but nothing too crazy. Up in the northeast, though, they do see a pretty substantial jump in temperatures as we get into the end of the weekend. Conditions across the province tomorrow, again, a little bit of showery, flurry conditions breaking into some parts of the interior, but a good amount of sun. And it's a similar story here on the coast, Dan.
As we head into the weekend and a bit more rain. But we're very used to this. We're going to be okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, what do you get when you mix the British game of squails and shovelboard with the Burmese game of caroms? Well, some in this country say you get the Canadian-made game Crokinole. Up next, you're going to meet a 91-year-old woman from PEI who plays it like a champ.
Canada.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox.
On March 12th, join CBC's Michelle Elliott and a panel of experts for the UBC webinar, What You Need to Know About Menopause. From the latest research to nutrition and physical therapy, get the insights you need. Join the conversation and register at alumni.ubc.ca. And never miss a special programming series, event, or contest. Subscribe to CBC's e-newsletter and keep connected with us.
We're sharing really important information with the public, and I feel like this is exactly what our job is, especially as the public broadcaster, especially in morning radio. That's incredibly important.
If you've never played a game of Crokinole, I suggest having PEI resident Norma Morrissey show you how it's done. She's 91 years old and plays every day.
She's even been to the World Crokinole Championship, don't you know? We tracked her down at a tournament in the city of Summerside.
My name is Norma Morrissey, and we're in Summerside playing Crokinole today. It's a tournament. When we were growing up, I had all kinds of games. Our family did, but I never had Crokinole. I didn't even know what the board looked like when I went out. And for the longest time, I wasn't very good at it. I'm doing better in the centers. It's the centers that really count. They add up. Good shot, Norma. I play 3 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still driving, eh? You know my age and that, so yeah, I'll be 92 in May. I go to Warren Grove on Tuesday night, and I drive out to Hunter River on Thursday afternoon. They have it in the afternoon. And then I go to Bunbury on Friday night.
Norma Morrissey will be 92 in May. We had a tournament on down Eastern Kings in St. Peter's at the Circle Club. She came down and played with us down there, and then that evening we were playing in Warren Grove. She was there waiting to play. She didn't have enough playing all day, doubles and singles. Same rules as this morning for count the 20s. Very honorable lady to play with. She's a great lady to carry on with, and that's part of the thing where you have people here that love to play.
Well, I think it's the people that you're playing with. They're just terrific. They really are. Yeah.
And is it a game that allows a lot of banter back and forth and chatter?
Oh, yes, you should hear me. I'm the noisy one.
Norma talks some smack. Good for her.
I really want to play. That looked really
looks fun. And what do we say? It was like a mini version of shuffleboard.
Yeah.
Right?
But the thing in... Yeah, it looks great.
And the screws
Good
down.
game
Yeah,
design.
Looks good fun. You've ever played?
I have not. Have you?
No.
I'm just a fan of good game design. That's
yeah,
really all
exactly.
it is.
Okay, Norma is on notice. She's tough. Very good.
Thanks for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News at 6. You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, YouTube, and our website, cbc.ca/BC.
And we will have your next local news at 11 o'clock, right after the National. Good night.